This is exciting. This is so exciting. Oh my God. Should I even be talking about this right now? If you know, you know. If you don't, sorry for you. I already told you. It's a fantasy should read. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you any harder. Thanks for watching. I'm author K.N. Robertson of Exposing Lesser Demons. And in this week's episode of Writing with Robbie, the mania has already started as I began my actual first draft of book 2. So stick along. Stick around, stay tuned, whatever, check it out. It is Saturday. I don't know what time it is, 9:34 a.m. And I'm sitting here like just super excited because this is the day that I've been waiting for, looking forward to in order to start my first draft of the sequel that I almost spoiled the name to. I am so thrilled to get into this, and then I'm sitting here thinking of just starting from the top of those notes, even though I know it will start over. But what I was thinking this rising, I might read Exposing Lesser Demons again since I haven't read it. Like I literally was like not wanting to read it at all again until I edit the next book, and I just remembered today, like I just was like, I should probably read that like now. It only takes me like 6 hours to read it, but because I have notes in there for the sequel, it might take longer. Also, like I said, I haven't read it in a long time. I read it a lot, I just haven't read it in a long time. And I wanted to read it with the freshest eyes possible. I look crazy right now, but anyway, I am crazy. I'm like wired because I'm so excited to get into this writing. And I'm literally like, oh, should I start here? Should I start there? And I'm thinking I'm going to send the chapters about this to that person, the chapters about that to that person. I'm not going to send anything else to anybody else until I get my first copyright, because I do two copyrights, thanks to one of my critique partners who suggested doing that, so it's protected when you send it out for critiquing, and then it's even more protected when it comes out, like even more correctly protected when it comes out. But then after, I probably won't get critiques on every chapter, so for a while I'll probably be flying blind, and then the first critiques I'm going to get on everything is probably going to be after I send it to the editor. And unlike Exposing Lesser Demons, I think I'm going to send it to 2 editors this time. And then I have some people who I want to beta, but not until it's got a cover and it's printed. So that will be like right before the actual release, and hopefully I have time for all of that. I don't know, but I'm so excited. I feel like I can do everything right now, and then I'm also like, girl, you're giving yourself too much to think about today. So I'm thinking about reading Exposing Lesser Demons first, but then after, like, this is my second time trying to record this because my thoughts were so I'm wired, I'm excited, I'm like, oh, like I'm literally manic. And that's what happened with Exposing Lesser Demons. I would get manic as I got like further and further along, and I wouldn't sleep. Like I would go like 28 hours without sleep, like crazy things like that. And I feel like that's already about to happen again. And there's too many pages to start being manic already, but that's probably what's about to happen. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be just really going in. I probably won't be sleeping much because I'm just so excited. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the first set of the outline before I start it over, sort that out a little bit better, because it's the same document, so it still counts as first drafting, but it's still technically zero drafting. And then when it starts over, even though I know what I think I want to go first, I know what I think I want to go first in the opening scene of the next book, which I almost spoiled the title to again. But I will have a better idea of what I would think I would want to feel as a reader if I read Exposing Lesser Demons again, because I know how big this next one is. And I'm not just talking about size, but I'm talking about what happens. I'm talking about the magic of it. I'm talking about how different it is. Like, I literally describe Exposing Lesser Demons One is a flyer, but two, I describe it as walking around blind in this world. Like you don't know what's going on. And I describe the bonus chapter within Exposing Lesser Demons as turning on the lights. Like you're finally getting what this is about. But the thing of that is that that bonus chapter is just a bridge to the next book. And it's a part of the next book, but it's not the first chapter of the next book. It's probably, if I'm just guessing, I'm probably wrong, but it's probably like roughly chapter 3. It might be chapter 5, might be chapter 6, but it's one chapter from a book that's way bigger. So even though Exposing Lesser Demons is like 120 pages, the bonus chapter itself is 30 pages. So this next book, I am going to be hard pressed to make it under 1,000 pages. I'm not even joking. I feel like it could easily be a 600, 700, 800 page book. I feel like if it's 400 pages, I'm going to be mind blown that it's that short. But if I can make it like 200 to 400 pages, I'm going to be thrilled that I was able to make it that short. And that is why I wrote Exposing Lesser Demons, because the next book, the book that I'm about to start first drafting, was supposed to be the first book. But I was like, this is too big. There's no way anybody's going to read this. I'm an indie author. Nobody's going to read this. Like, until I give them something smaller that shows them that I'm a good writer. And I was going to do Exposing Lesser Demons as a short story online. And then it got so big that I was like, no, this is a novella right now. This is a proper novella. So then the novella, I was like, I want to give them a bridge to the next book, because they're going to read Exposing Lesser Demons and they're going to expect this small world, which is complicated in the magic, but it's only about this city block. It's only about this one girl. It's about, and kind of like one of her exes, maybe two, depending on how you feel about the other one. But it's giving that it's really about this one couple, or ex couple. And this one girl and this one block and her personal problems. But I'm glad I said Exposing Lesser Demons on accident, because I almost said the next book name again. But the next book is going to be so big. It's so complicated, and not just the magic. The complexity of the magic was expressed in Exposing Lesser Demons. But the complexity of the relationships, you're about to find out just how complex. I'm a genius, but I'm not just a genius. I'm a mad genius. Like, something is wrong with this girl. Like, not really. My brain is a labyrinth. You're about to find out just how massive this idea has always been when you see the sequel. And I'm so excited. But I'm like, where do I begin? Where do I begin? And I have a general idea of where I want the opening chapter to be. And I think even after reading Exposing Lesser Demons, that's still going to feel right. But even that, how would I explain that? Even where I think the first chapter is going to be, I almost said it again. I got to be careful, man. I think I know the chapter we're going to start in the sequel, I think. But I feel like even that is not like a prologue, but it's like we're here and we know what's about to happen because it was mentioned in Exposing Lesser Demons, and then we're going to go forward to the present day. And when we go forward to the present day, I don't know where we're going to be. And that is why I need to read Exposing Lesser Demons. Because like chapter 1, I think I know exactly what I'm going to do. Oh, it is so tea. I just want to go right. Ooh. And if I think the bonus chapter of Exposing Lesser Demons that is going to be in the sequel, if I think that is number 3, right? So we know chapter 1 and we know chapter 3. What is going to be the expected feel and mood of chapter 2? I think I need to read Exposing Lesser Demons before I lock in on a chapter 2 for the sequel. And I think that means that I can start writing today and do a lot. That's the hope. And then, so I want to read a little bit of this book because I'm still working on this one. I might be halfway through. No, not halfway through. Hold on. No, not halfway through. Almost. So I'm almost halfway through. And I have like some library dates with my friend in Fredericksburg. Not like romantic dates. She's gorgeous though. And she's just, I love her brain because she's clearly neurodivergent. She claims it. So am I. So we're just two nerds nerding out at the library. We barely know each other. So it's like a get to know you thing. She's like, you want to just meet and do some library stuff? Yeah, I got some library stuff right here. And this is not the only book I need to go through. There are notes from other books that I already read that I need to put in there. So there's a lot to do, but I'm so excited about every part of it. So I think what I'm going to do, that's what I was going to say, is go through the notes up until where I started over. And then I might try to write the first chapter, maybe. Alternatively, I will stop right there and read Exposing Lesser Demons. But I could attempt to write that chapter, then read Exposing Lesser Demons, and then go through the rest. Saturday, I actually wrote for 3 hours, and that includes some research. I did not write on Sunday, but I focused on editing and posting a video, so my last video was up on time. So hi, I haven't seen you guys since the last video, and I thought it would be a good idea to start the new video right on time. Like, even the days lined up, everything lined up. I was like, I was thinking I would record on Saturday after I wrote, but I ended up writing during the day and then stopping to do a whole bunch of things and then writing some more and then going straight to bed. So I did not feel like recording, and then Sunday I didn't want to record unless I finished editing my video and getting it off my phone, and then again I just went right to sleep after that. And I got a lot done this week's end as far as my life goes. Writing, I made a great effort, but I would have loved to have gotten even further. I did get 17 pages into the 500 and some page document that makes up the 0th draft. So a big win for us on Saturday. Sunday was pretty great, except of course we didn't write. And then today we only got 30 minutes of writing. That was just like one big block of text, putting the notes that are usable where they belong, and I did a little bit more research as well, just a little bit, but I mean, I was researching for a few minutes, but it didn't yield exactly the results that I wanted, but it's fine. I'm not tripping about it. I am super excited for this tale, and since I'm focused on one story now versus 3 stories, I just feel like I'm even more excited because I get to think about specifics. It's still a little too soon to get specific scene, like how this scene is actually going to play out. Like, I know it needs to happen, but how is it actually going to play out is a little too soon for that. But I'm getting, like, there were some names I wanted to change, so I did that. There was one name that is perfectly unisex, but I wanted it to be a different culture. So it was like American unisex name, and it needed to be a different culture unisex names. Oops. So my dad is building this really cool thing. Maybe I'll show you when it's done. But I just wanted to say I did not write today. I look amazing, so I'm going to show you my outfit. Really what I think I'm going to count on going forward is heavily writing on Saturdays, because I normally don't cook on Saturday, because that's like one of 2 days where I'm able to go get some fried chicken down the street at this gas station. They have such good chicken. It doesn't make any sense. And I can't stop eating it, so I was like, I may as well milk it, get it every Saturday. That's the day where I'm guaranteed to write, get some writing done on Sundays, and then just go to work early during the week. So let's see how that goes. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to write during the week. I'm just going to go with what happens, and that's what happened today. So headed out. Okay, so I am writing. I've already got 20 minutes in, and I have about 30 minutes until I have to leave. I'm also cooking chickpeas, and I need to clean my car off. So, yeah, because I'm supposed to be going to work soon. So, yeah, lots going on this morning, but I am so determined to write, and it is so fun. It's so fun. But yeah, so I'm at the part where I'm just about, like I'm just blending in the old notes before I started over with putting them where they need to be from where after I did start over. And it's really fun because I'm like seeing the story come together, but it's so, or rather I'm seeing the early parts of the story come together, and it's a lot of fun because I knew even after I started over, I was like, I don't know what order this is going to go in. I still need to read Exposing Lesser Demons, so I really know what order it's supposed to go in, like what feels right after as a sequel. So I'm gonna go to the car, I'm gonna warm it up. My car apparently is Canadian, so it's used to harsh weather, but I messed up the undercarriage last time. The snow froze back, and I just like driving in and out. So I'm like, not really prepared. I should have done this yesterday, but anyway, I'm gonna go do it right now. Yeah. And I hope to still have a few more minutes to write. So let's see. I don't know if you're gonna believe this because I certainly hardly believe it myself. Hold on. My dad cleaned my car off for me, and he had to do it this morning, like right before he went to work, because it wasn't like that last night, and he was asleep. Oh, you hush. Whatever. But I have a few more minutes to write. Look at that winter wonderland. You can probably see out that window. Maybe not. That's okay. Got a few more minutes to write. In that case, I don't need air in my tires today, so it's just a great day. So I'm gonna finish getting my socks and shoes on, brushing my teeth because those socks are too small apparently, and finishing in the kitchen, and then we got to get out of here. But we can probably squeeze out 40 minutes of writing, maybe 50. So see you later. Okay, so I got a few more minutes. I got 1 minute under 40 minutes. I was gonna try to milk it a little bit longer, but I really should go. Yeah, so I don't know how, but I both, hold on. But this week I, clearly in a hurry, I'm gonna have to put this here today. So I gained and lost weight this week, in that order. I'm in my tiny Hogwarts sweater. My car cut off after 30 minutes, so that's how you know. That's how you know we got back in there. We're in the game now. But anyway, so yeah, I'm in my tiny jeans. I'm in my tiny Hogwarts sweater. I'm on the belt loop I want to be on. This is a great day. And not just because my clothes fit, okay? Okay, so we got 40 minutes of writing. It's not a lot. We really had to eke it out, but it's enough because it's more than... I didn't write it all yesterday. I had a snow day. But I didn't write it all because, you know, if you've been watching my last few videos in this particular series, then, you know, I had to go get all this stuff from my old place. And I still haven't found where it's all going to go. So I've been working on that. That's what I did yesterday. Okay, so we got to go. Thanks to Dad for buying us like 20 more minutes. Oh, thank you, Glory. Oh. Probably would have only taken 10. I don't know. But he also shoveled in front of me. I was not going to do that. So I think he saved the undercarriage of my car. I am very grateful. Let us get out of here. Whew. Whew. And yeah, I ended up putting air in my tire the other day while it was snowing. My boss was like, you should get going. The roads are getting bad. Because I was at work. And they just kind of all of a sudden got bad. It was snowing pretty heavily, but it was just melting so fast. And then all of a sudden that changed, like in a matter of 30 minutes. But yeah, so I got air in my tire. I was like, I'm worried about going home, but I think air in my tire would be better than not. So, but I made it safely, obviously. Even though I have a lot to do at work, I have so much more to do at home. And I made a big dent in that work. There's still a lot to do, but I got a lot of it done. And even though, like, writing is the first priority, but mental health really has to go before that. And if your room looks a certain way, your mental health is probably a certain way. It's like a sign. So now that my room is looking a little better, it's making me feel significantly more sane. And then I was able to get 40 minutes of writing today versus the last 2 days I didn't write at all. So I feel a lot more sane because I wrote. And the writing was really, really sweet today, because basically what I did when I began writing this document, which is the first draft, I did this thing, and I think it was Malcolm Gladwell. It was one of those master classes. I had master class a couple years ago. Definitely want to get that again when I have more time to watch those videos. And one of the videos that I watched, it was an author. I believe it was Malcolm Gladwell. I could be wrong, but he mentioned the best way to outline your story. He mentioned first, and this is something that I could have used years ago before I made that really long 0th draft for my whole series, but I'm glad I did that, because I was doing what another author mentioned, starting with knowing your antagonist of your series, and then you will know what your protagonist is up against, and it will help you understand the rest of it. That wasn't a masterclass. That was Robert McKee, I'm pretty sure. But anyhow, so the masterclass that I think was Malcolm Gladwell, he said basically outline your story like this. First, send it like text it, like you're going to do a text message and send it to somebody, because you're obviously going to keep it significantly shorter than a Word document. So do it like a text message, then do it like you're going to write, or like do it like a letter or a text message, then do it like you're going to send it as an email, and then do it like, a slightly expanded version of that in a Word document. So I did the version like I was going to send it in an email, and once it got really long and I realized I didn't know what order things were going to be in the beginning, I started over, and that's when it got much, much, much more expanded. And then I went to my notes from my 0th draft, which made that even more abundant, let's say. So today it got up to, it's up to like 559 pages, because I'm basically moving the notes from the top to where they belong in the draft. Excuse me. But then I ended up deleting that. So I'm 22 pages in, and then I deleted that 22 pages because everything up there is placed. So yeah, I won't be able to keep a count to tell you how far I'm in, but I'll just start over once I start over. So it looks like I have a full hour to work with this rising. I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out, and then I'm on my way to work solo at my job. Not me over here singing Chicken Noodle Soup. I don't know if y'all remember that song. I don't know if y'all are old enough or young enough or whatever, what have you. But I was like, let's go, because I'm about to be late messing with this story. That's what I have to do. But anyway. So I'm at this point where I don't super know the order of things. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to tell this, because it goes back, because things go back a little bit and then they go forward, to the present day. I believe that I have it figured out. At least as far as like 4 really big chapters go. Because these chapters are obviously going to be long. So my thinking is this: if you compared this next book, to a television show, each chapter is one episode, 1 hour-long episode. I have ordered these episodes. Some of them go back before they go back to the present. But in this particular installment, I don't want too many time jumps. But in some places, you need to know a little history before you go forward. Just a little. And I'm not talking about way back. I'm talking about, earlier in a certain character's lives, So we go back a little bit anyway, but that's going to be like where the way you read it, it feels like present day. So even though it's a little bit further back from Exposing Lesser Demons, it's really just another character's perspective, is what I should say. So we start the book in the past compared to Exposing Lesser Demons, but it's basically to show a different character's perspective before, during, and after those events without repeating those events. But there is a segment in that character's life that would be even further back to like that person's childhood. So in order to show what happened when that person was a teenager, we do go back for a short time. And I want to make sure it makes sense. I want to make sure, even going back in that chapter, we're still also going to make sure we're in present day in that chapter. That would be ideal. So I kind of figured out how we're going to do that today. So yes, I'm going back to the past, but I'm showing you how that aligns with the present. I don't want to do that too much because it feels like a cheat. And I don't want to cheat. It's like, this is not happening in my story at all, but like, for example, if you want to plant a gun in a movie at the climax, you don't wait till right before the climax to show the gun being planted. You make that a part of the character. This character has a gun. He keeps it here. We've known that since the beginning of the movie. You know what I mean? For instance. So I don't want to go back and plant a gun right before the character needs to use it. I want to plant that from the beginning. But this is the beginning of the story. Like, I'm still at the beginning of the beginning for some of these characters. So, like, this will be the beginning of book 2. So that being said, I go back, but I try not to go back for a long time. But I also don't want to reveal this one detail, which could probably be guessed by reading Exposing Lesser Demons. I'm not sure, but I do know that if once you read this next book, it's going to make the climax of the denouement of Exposing Lesser Demons the resolution of Exposing Lesser Demons will become more interesting because you now know this thing from reading book 2. But like, because you could probably figure it out if you really dissected Exposing Lesser Demons and the magic system and how a certain person did a certain thing via magic that you don't even know that they have until the end. The narrator is like, oh yeah, this person has multiple powers, but doesn't say what they are. And that's a way that I planted that without being like, okay, now here's a backstory to tell you about a power that he's always had. But like, oops, spoiler, I didn't mean to say he. Didn't mean to say the gender. See, like, even that little detail, now you know who I'm talking about, if you read the book. So this person does a thing, in like chapter 2. So you kind of understand that he can do this other thing. By the climax, it makes sense. By the denouement, it makes sense. But what can I say to not spoil it? I won't say it. I'll just say, if you are paying attention to the thing that he can do in chapter 2, I said his gender again, and I said the chapter, so let's go with it. So if you're paying attention to the thing that this guy can do in chapter 2, the thing that happens in like the second to last chapter or third to last chapter, it makes sense. And then if you ponder that harder on your own, you might figure that there's another thing that he can do that's similar in the same wheelhouse, but you don't see that until the next book. I mean, because even the narrator said like something he remembered that somebody else said it to him that wasn't in that book. And now he's doing that in chapter 2. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to tell you without telling you. There's a thing that the narrator basically said that he could kind of do, but doesn't tell you, and the story doesn't show you. I think I spittled a little bit, but yeah. So the narrator is trying to tell you without telling you that he can do this thing, and the story doesn't show you. But if you like reading between the lines, you can probably figure out what this guy can do. And by the time I show that and it becomes obvious in book 2, what can I say? There's another character with a similar ability who I then am like, let's show that right immediately after. So I hope I didn't say too much, but I don't want to spoil what can be done until right before the ultimate version of that, in my opinion, thus far, is done. So I've said a lot without saying anything. Hopefully I didn't spoil anything, but hopefully I didn't lose you either. So enough about that. I do think I figured out, like, if you read the bonus chapter, see, this is what I mean. Like, if I knew that I had a whole bunch of people watching this, or like not even a whole bunch of people, that like 10 people watched my last video, which for me is a lot of people, right?
for the long videos. That's a lot of people. So 10 people watched my last video. If I knew that 8 of them had not only read Exposing Lesser Demons, but read the bonus chapter, I would speak a little more freely. But at this point, I don't think I should do that because I'm probably going to have viewers who have never read my book for a little while. Yeah, for a couple years probably. So what I will say though is, what can I say? Okay, so a group of people with magical abilities, you might consider them a coven. And let's say what I worked on today was figuring out the order of rounding out a specific coven. If you know, you know. If you don't, sorry for you. I already told you, it's a fantasy should read. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you any harder, but I will tell you this. I'm doing a marketing push for my next book, if only because I can afford to. But I also have a feeling, this is exciting. This is so exciting. Oh my God. Should I even be talking about this right now? So I told you I've been feeling super supported at my job when it comes to like writing, because one of my bosses is like, how's your book going? Well, he asked me again yesterday, and then he said, I have an idea for a book. Would you like to work on that with me? And I was like, yeah, because this guy, like, business, period. Like, forget the book. I didn't even need to hear the idea. The guy is brilliant. He's a business-minded person. I feel like this is my peer. When I went to dinner with my, 2 of my coworkers and my 2 bosses, I felt like my bosses were my peers. And 2 of my coworkers, the 2 that showed up, they were there and they, participated a little bit. And I do feel like they're my peers in a lot of ways. But my bosses, they're on that level with me that I've been craving in friendships. You know what I mean? Like, as far as they're running a business, so am I. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just have a business. People can sell stuff all day. I'm not just an author. Like, if I was just an author, I would be out there selling my book. Like, because I know if I go to an event and I speak, I'm going to sell out all of my books. And I could go do that and let that pay my bills, because I don't have, my bills aren't that expensive. And then I wouldn't have to work. But the thing of it is, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this for the long con. I'm not looking for the short con. I'm not looking for I just make money off my book. I am a publisher. I am a full-on publisher. That means even if I didn't help him write his book, he can write it on his own and I can help him publish it. I can be his publisher. But I have the honor of him inviting me to write the book with or for him. I don't know which one, but I'm excited to find out, so stay tuned. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but that's the thing. I didn't know when I said yes. And I just knew I should say yes. Like, there was no question, no doubt in my mind. There was no later thinking, maybe I should have read it first. But what I did not expect is how quickly the turnaround was. I said yes. He asked me for my email address. I gave him my business email. I go to bed. I get up. And I see a notification on my phone. I don't have a lot of my notifications on, but I have my email, that particular email account on. And he already in the middle of the night sent me his idea, like an outline, a proper outline. And it was exactly what I was talking about. I think just yesterday I was talking about if you outline it in an email, how short it would be. Because obviously there are more details to the story he sent me. I'm not going to give you any details except to say it's not a fantasy. It's more realistic. Super powerful, super impactful. I see the book, I see the movie, I see how I would market that from the level that I'm at right now. And there's a cop behind me, so I probably should get off my phone. But
thanks again for tuning in. Just a quick update before I completely wrap this week's video. I did only write 2 hours yesterday, which sounds decent, but if I'm counting on Saturdays, I need to get more writing hours on Saturday. So what I decided to do today, Sunday, this is my editing day. I stayed in the bed, editing, well, first reading. I actually read a little bit today of the book that I've been reading for like a year at this point. And then I edited just about all of the footage for this particular video, so I should be able to get it out on time. And now I'm about to go get my fried chicken because I didn't get that on Saturday like I said I would. So yeah, now that I'm out of the bed, I'm showered, I'm smelling amazing, I am going to enjoy a long break over lunch, and then, or breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh no, I did have apples today. So I'm going to enjoy a long lunch break. And then after that, all I need to do is punch out a little bit of writing, and then I'll feel good and sane to start the rest of my week. Also, I heard from my friend that I told you in my last video that I met at the library. We will be going to the library probably some Thursday nights to do whatever either one of us has to do, but we also have sort of become like a sort of creative collaboration that you can say, will they collaborate, won't they collaborate? It's a will they, won't they. I live. So yeah, that being said, I might have 2 new collaborations on top of the one that I already have, and to update on that collaboration that I just kind of locked in on this week. I guess we're locked in because I let that person know, my boss, I let him know that's up to him, because I think it'll be like 3 or 4 years before I can get that out. And he's like, no pressure, I would like to do 2 years. So that being said, we'll see, because if I could do all 4 of the books and get his started within 2 years, I would be so happy. So yeah, need more time to write, but that's why I'm like, if I can get myself to write today on a Sunday after editing, I still haven't done my cleaning and stuff, but that does mean that going forward I might end up with the ability to do Saturday and Sunday writing. And if I could just get myself to do like 30 minutes to an hour in the evening, which I edited out, but I was talking about that as a possibility, which isn't super easy because that means I would have to get off on time and figure out where I'm gonna eat, because I don't always eat breakfast except for maybe a couple of apples, and I almost never eat lunch. So yeah, I need to figure out how to have dinner and go to bed by 8 o'clock so I can still get up at 4 to write. Or if I actually get out of bed at 4, I can add another half hour or so of writing in the morning, but it would make a huge difference. So let's see what we can do going forward. And on that note, thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and please hit the notification bell so you know when I will be back. And I will see you